Hi everyone, good morning. I'm doing my John Maxwell for today. And the message for today is from Luke 10:1. After this, the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them two by two ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go. So it's not difficult to see the importance of having well trained and capable players on your team members. In baseball, you have people who sit on the bench. You have the same in basketball or in netball. Whatever game you play, you always want to make sure that you have good team members available, because if those team members get sick or get hurt, you need other people to be able to step in and to help your team. And that's why we have succession planning in our teams, in our communities, in families. We want people to be able to step in once we are gone. And that could happen to any of us. It could happen by death, by illness, by anything. So we need to have people who can come in and who are strong and who can step in when somebody else can't be there. We have coaches who will help two skilled quarterbacks on teams. And a great starter alone is not enough if a team wants to go to the highest level. We need to be able to finish well, we need to be able to learn as we go. Any team that wants to excel must have good substitutes as well as starters. And there's great things that you can do when you have a handful of top people. But if you want your team to do well over the long haul, you've got to build your team. You've got to build your players, and you've got to build people who can step in. It's not like tennis. Tennis is a game where you play for yourself, it's an individual sport. So for me, this is an individual business, but I also have other team members. I have people I'm learning from. I have people who are part of the Maxwell leadership team. So when I leave this, when I die or when I stop doing John Maxwell, I don't have anybody that I'm going to pass this on to. It's not a family business. It's not something that I'm doing to pass on to somebody else. Yes, if others want to join and they want to build their own business or they want to build their own ministry, I can help them to come into the John Maxwell. I can show them where the tools are, but it's not the same thing as me building up a family business. And if you don't have other people to succeed for you, then it will collapse. And that's my end goal with this. Once I die or once I pass away, I'm going to be leaving a legacy in others. The people who have watched my videos, the people who have done the training with me. But this is my initiative, it's my business, and I'm not planning to leave it on to anybody. So the legacy I leave will be in those who have been trained by me, those who have been mentored by me, those who have learned from me. They are the ones who will be carrying forward my legacy, and they'll be taking it out and building up their own careers, their own paths, their own ways of doing things. And that's how the sport of tennis works. It's not like baseball, it's not like hockey, it's not like any of the other sports where you have to build your bench. Once your career in tennis is over, you start developing the next round of leaders who are going to come after you, and they are going to build their own careers in the sport if that's what they want to do. Swimming is like that. When I swim, I go up and I swim. I don't have other people, I don't build a swimming team. It's an individual sport. Yes, you can do team relays, you can do other things where you're bringing in teams. But the skills that I learn, I'm learning for myself to improve my own game, to improve my delivery, to improve my communication, and then I can teach others and I can coach others. And that's what I like about tennis. That's what I like about swimming. That's what I like about the individual sports. because you're focusing on your own growth, your own development, and how you are going to move things forward for your ministry, for your business. What are you doing to learn every day? So this, what I'm doing now, I couldn't do before going live on YouTube. I had to have at least 50 followers and people who had signed up to watch my videos. And now that I have that, I can do it live. I had to do it with my Facebook, then I had to download the Facebook videos, then I had to upload them to YouTube. So I had to take 3 or 4 extra steps. But because I've been consistent, because I've done my videos every day, because I've uploaded them and also learned from my mistakes, I now have people following me. And I am reaching the right people because I want to reach people in South Africa. I want to reach people in Zimbabwe. I want to reach women. So when I first started doing this, it was mainly men that were following me, men of the same age group as me and in India. And so I started changing my videos. I started changing the titles. I started looking at what I was uploading. And as I've developed it, I have more women following me, more people in South Africa and in that Southern Africa region, which is what I want. This is good for me. And the more I can reach people in those areas and in those regions, the better it is for me. Because I'm not focused on the elite of Canada. I'm not focused on the people here who know it all, who are always putting me down, criticizing me, don't like the way I dress, don't like my hair. I had long, beautiful black hair, flowing hair, and I aim to grow it out again because that's how I like my hair. I don't focus on them here because they think they're better than me. They think they have nothing to learn from me, and they just want me to comply with the policy. But my people who are in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, they appreciate me. They know that we are on a journey together. They know that this is a good platform and what I'm doing is a good thing. So I'm focusing on reaching that audience and I'm focusing on keeping on developing it, keeping on learning, growing. And as I learn and grow, I can teach others. If you want to get this type of access, what you have to do is set up your YouTube channel, create it, start uploading your videos, choose your topics. For me, I've always chosen the spiritual path. And I have also chosen leadership development. So choose your topic and then start creating your videos. Once you get your followers, when you go to the top of your screen, you'll see a little place to click where it says create. When you click on that, then you'll have the option of going live or doing your reel or whatever you want to do. So that's how I'm doing this now. And I don't have to have those extra 3 or 4 steps in between, which is good for me. It makes a huge difference. And also for the scriptures of today, for the Sunday scriptures, it's about God's goodness providing for the needy, providing for the poor. And when we are humble in God's sight, we ask God to provide for us because we don't have to put on a show. We don't have to change our voice to talk to the customer. We don't have to put on an American accent like in the call center. We don't have to pretend that we are not Indian so their teleperformance and their customers and their clients can normalize our voices. So we don't have to do that. We can go before the Lord as humble people and we can depend on God entirely to provide for us and to help us because we know without that, the wounds of life will drag us down into the pit, into the abyss. But when we depend on God, like Psalm 67 says, we know that God is the one who is the father of orphans and protector of widows. God gives the desolate a home to live in, and he leads the prisoners out to prosperity. And being in prison doesn't have to be like a physical prison, it can be a spiritual prison that God frees us from. That's why we know we can trust God to provide the rain, to be so that we are showered. Even if we go abroad, we are showered with God's blessings. He restores our heritage when it languishes. And in God, our flock, our community will find that goodness of God that provides for the needy. The psalm is Psalm 67. The first reading is Sirach 3:17 to 20 and 28 to 29. And the second reading is Hebrews 12:18 to 19. So again, it's looking at us, looking at our own hearts, our own lives, and coming to God, who is the one who builds up Mount Zion, the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, with his angels and spirits of righteousness. And Jesus is our mediator. The gospel is Luke 14:1, 7 to 14. And it's calling us to look at that messianic banquet at the end of time, where God is going to not call the qualified, but qualify the called. And he's going to call the ones who, like Jesus goes to eat with the leader of the Pharisees, the lawyers, and they're watching him to see what he will do. And he tells them that they should invite those who people do not consider to be the best, to be perfect, to be the ones who they would normally invite, but to invite the ones who cannot reciprocate, the ones who cannot pay them back. And that God will see our hearts and will invite us to the messianic banquet. And we will be blessed because God will know our hearts. So when we host for people who may not be able to pay us back in this life, but it's that looking towards that heavenly banquet. And that heavenly banquet, it's probably going to be filled with people like me, people who are always being criticized by Canadians, condemned by them, criticized for our accents, have the phone put down on us, left out of every family gathering. It's probably going to be people like me because we only have God to go to. That's where we get our source. That's where we get our love. That's where we get our hope. That's where we can hang on even with everything coming against us. And that's where we go. We turn to the Lord and we keep learning, we keep growing, and we keep hoping that we will get the fulfillment in this life and in the life to come. That's what I think about the scriptures and about the imagery of being drawn to God. Because I'm always the outcast. I'm always the one left out. I'm always the one who has to say, oh, what about me? Why don't you guys come visit me? Why don't you call me? Well, what about my place in the family, in the community? But I know that God is always with me, and I know that He's always with you too. If you're going on a journey like mine, you don't have to turn to drugs and alcohol and cutting yourself and all these things. And the difference between here and South Africa or Zimbabwe is that over there we know the door is always open, and we know that it's not like this is my house and so you respect my rules. It's like you're welcome and we all here together and you can come anytime. That's the biggest difference. The Americans are arrogant and Canadians, and I just got tired of it. You know, you can't change people, They like to have this village mentality, but their village only extends to the haves, not the have-nots. And when you are trying to join that middle class or that upper class, so you can also have your own property, have your own cars, be able to travel, be able to join in family functions, they deliberately coordinate it to keep you out because they want their own mentees there. They want their own family in those positions. They want their own people in those positions. And that's why there's a big problem with the indigenous people, with people like me who come from overseas, because they look down on us. They don't consider us to be good enough, even with our qualifications, with our international credentials and experience. They consider themselves superior to us, just like people who are born in America, people who are born in Canada. When you come here, they don't want, even your own nieces and nephews, they don't want to visit you. They don't reciprocate when you invite them. It's like, well, we feel bad because those people are poor. So, just let's just stick to ourselves. There's that kind of mentality. But when you go home, if you go home from here to South Africa, you'll find that people are just so happy that you came back, that you're coming to see them. It doesn't matter if you're rich or if you're poor. They're just happy because it's you and you came home. And that's what the gospel message is about. That's what it's about for me. It's not about what they make it about in Canada. It's like, oh, you coming to the church and you don't even give any donation. You have to give something. Okay, I'll stay at home because you know that I'm not working. You know that when you put me forward, you only put me forward for menial jobs, low paid jobs. You want me to do all the work, stand in for the head of the library at Regis and pay me minimum wage. So I'll stay at home until you give me the respect that I deserve and you put me into those good paying jobs that are paying me over 100,000 a year. Because they are too arrogant. That's why this is a punishment, what's happening to Canada now. Mark Carney implemented all these policies to keep him and his loved ones and his friends in good positions, and the community is suffering. We are having 10 cities. It's becoming drug infested. Marijuana is a problem. The hard drugs are a problem. But he's happy. He says we're making progress. I don't know what kind of progress he thinks we are making, or the banks where there's all the money laundering, or putting tennis players like Boris Becker in jail while the real criminals are going free. Is that progress? Because to me, it's not progress. I don't know about you. I don't think it's progress. But then what do I know, right? I'm the stupid one. I'm the one that had to go to university to get the master's degrees, to get the diplomas in HR, in ministry and spirituality, to learn from others. Because I'm the stupid one. If I wasn't stupid, I wouldn't need to study more. Because the people that don't go to university, they know everything. They're the clever ones. They're the ones who get the good jobs, the top jobs. They're the ones who get the family support. They're the ones who get the privilege of saying, yeah, you know what, we'll help you, we'll mentor you, we'll guide you, and we'll help you set up your home, we'll help you with whatever you need. But the ones like us, the ones who want to study, the ones who graduated, the ones who went to university, we get treated the worst. Why? Because we wanted to study to prove ourselves, and we wanted to show ourselves approved unto the Lord. That's why. I think if I had become a drug addict or a prostitute, or if I had done bad in this society, I would have gotten a lot more support. But I kept my heart with the Lord. That's the difference. I kept my heart with the Lord. So they punish me for it. Keep the faith.